Well, our next guest is looking forward to the Christmas opening of Les Miserables with great anticipation, in part because she relates very personally to the stories of hope and joy, of suffering and trauma. Please welcome playwright Cheryl Nembhard to Context. Cheryl, thank you very much. It's great. I see a parallel between your life and the Les Mis character of young Cosette. You yourself, your early childhood, both of you raised by single mothers. Am I connecting too many dots here, or how do you feel about...
You're connecting every dot correctly, Lorna. Absolutely.
Tell us about why these themes in this movie, why it's going to resonate so much with you as you look into this art this way.
You know what's really exciting about this story, Lorna, is that I don't just resonate with one character. I resonate with about three, and I'll tell you all the aspects. For me, Cosette, the abused young girl in a home with parents or foster sort of parents that didn't treat her well. I really relate to that abused, scared little girl.
Like that little girl, you were raised by a single mom.
Yes.
And you were abused by the caregiver she trusted. Your mother, a hardworking nurse, single mom, put you in the hands of your Sunday school teacher as your caregiver. What can you tell us about those memories?
Unfortunately, I was sexually molested from the ages of 5 to 12 by my Sunday school teacher, which really affected and warped my sense and my perspective of God. Because when you are a child, and even when we're all childlike, but there's a moment that we connect God to what we think his actions are through other people. And so because I was feeling pain and I was traumatized, I thought God hurts, God hates. That's how I thought.
Tell us what it was like between 12 and 16 for you then, once you cut loose of that abuse.
Between 12 and 16, I suffered greatly with depression and anger issues. I was retaliating in every way possible. I was rebelling. I was attacking my mom. I was very, very angry, and I wasn't healing. I tried to speak about it, and of course, my abuser denied it, and I was made to feel like I was destroying name, character, integrity. And then it went from bad to worse at the age of 16.
What happened at 16?
At the age of 16, just living in the neighborhood that I lived in, having a single mom, no brothers, no sisters, no father. It's a very close community, and you can tend to tell the patterns and the schedules of people. And at 16, I was sexually assaulted. And I think that, for me, something snapped inside. I broke. I literally broke inside. And for 3 years, I lived on and off the street, turning to drugs and alcohol to try and numb the pain, because I didn't have the right outlets or channels to heal.
Along comes a phase that is a new expression of God's love in your life. What happened?
Lorna, I was hate personified. I lived to hate, and I was bitter, and I was very unforgiving. And a community worker, also a street evangelist, found me and continuously, unrelentingly showed me the love of God, never gave up on me, and saw the best in me when I saw the worst in myself. That's why I connect so deeply to Jean Valjean, Lorna, because the bishop, even in the midst of the act of stealing, gave him a second chance, redeemed him, cleared his name, and gave him a hope, and actually charged him to live out a life for God when he said, I've bought your soul for God. That is what happened to me.
And here you are, you're a mom of 3 beautiful little kids. You are a worship pastor.
Yes.
What happened to take you from there to here?
It's incredible. When I look at my life, from suicidal thoughts to attempted suicide, to drug use, to depression, to in and out of the streets, now a worship pastor, owning a Christian theater company, able to use art now as a tool for healing, to address the same issues that I went through. It can only be 100% the love of God. I'm a product of not hate now, but God's love.
How necessary was forgiveness in that transformation?
It was integral to my transition. I always say this. I say that forgiveness is a very selfish act, which sounds a bit controversial, but it is. It was for self-preservation. It was for me to survive. My forgiveness doesn't make what you've done to me right, or it doesn't approve your actions. It sets me free. I needed to forgive so that I could become whole again.
You know, there's a lot of people, Christmas time is a really emotionally walloping time for them. They past hurts, past pains, disappointed relationships. What would you say to speak to other or encourage other victims of abuse this season?
I would say to them, exactly one of the life lessons I learned from Fontaine's character. We are not a product of our circumstance. We are not the product. We are not the end result of it. There is hope. There is destiny. There is purpose. There is life and so much for us to do. Don't lose hope. What has happened to you is not a reflection of how God sees you or his love for you. And when he looks at you, he sees his very best. You are beautiful. You are a masterpiece in his eyes. Lift your head up. The Lord says that he will take your ashes and make them beautiful. And that's my life story.
Wow, Cheryl, you are a modern day chapter to the Valjean inspiration and to all of that. And we've got some material up on your amazing theater company. Many of the 62 kids in your theater company have also recovered through broken homes and different things.
Yes.
You've been the first Christian production on the Mirvish stage. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. When
we come back, my closing thought on this classic story of second chances, redemption, grace, and love. Thank you. That's wonderful. I was surprised to see the traditional December 25th movie have such a resounding Christian story as Les Miserables grace the silver screen. Oh, me of little faith. Here's a saga that reminds us that the gift of Jesus Christ can launch a fear-filled, angry, desperate person into a brand new beginning. And that's a great gift for us to remember this time of year. Send us your feedback on today's program. Call the viewer feedback line or send a message, email on Facebook or Twitter. We always like hearing your thoughts. Our mailbag takes a short break next week, but every letter or email will be waiting for us, read and prayed over. And one of the letters that we publish online and on the air gets a free book. So I'm going to end with my blog this week. It explains a little bit about what I'll be doing over the Christmas break, and that's all on our website. From all of us at Context, Merry Christmas.